Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I went shopping. So to be very honest with you guys, I was feeling very uninspired when it came to makeup, and I find that for me, the best way to inspire myself is to go to Sephora and pick up products that inspire me or get me excited. Regardless, I did pick up quite a few things, kind of a mix of things that are brand new that I haven't tried and also things that aren't necessarily brand new, I just haven't tried them before, and we're just gonna have some fun and test some new makeup together. I also have a couple PR products that I just threw in here as well that I have also been wanting to try that I will be incorporating into this video, and I'll let you know what those products are when I get to them. But let's just start off by going through everything that I purchased. Let's do a little makeup haul. Oh my god, I feel like I haven't done a makeup haul in so long. This is fun. Okay, the first thing that I got, and probably one of the things that I'm most excited about, and also the most expensive thing that I purchased, is a new Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette. The Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes are one of those things that always catch my eye no matter what. I just find that most of the palettes that she does release are really fun and unique and interesting, and I find that I'm very rarely disappointed when it comes to a Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette. The only times that I'm disappointed is if it's a color scheme that I'm not into, but this one, it's stunning, you guys. This is called the Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey palette. Packaging is gorgeous, number one. There's a really nice mix of wearable shades. There's some fun shades here as well. This green is really calling my name. Maybe we'll play with that today. So next up, I picked up some things from Rose Inc. This is a new celebrity brand. It's by the model Rosie Huntington Whiteley. I got a couple things. I got two of her blushes. I have Azalea, which is this really pretty berry shade. I've mentioned recently that these types of shades are very much my jam, especially during the fall time, so I'm really excited that I picked that one up. And I also have Anemone, which is more of like a peachy coral shade, also very up my alley. And then I also picked up a concealer. I've been getting so many questions about this too, because this also sounds like it's very much up my alley. It's the Soft Light Luminous Hydrating Concealer. Anything that says luminous or hydrating, I always wanna try because I have very dry skin. This is what it looks like. And I got the shade LX020. I have a new foundation. This is the KVD Good Apple Skin Perfecting Foundation Balm. I feel like I'm a little bit late to the party with this one. This really had a moment a couple months ago, and I just didn't jump on the bandwagon just because this is a very full coverage foundation. Typically foundations that are super full coverage aren't really ones like I gravitate towards, but what really took me over the edge is I saw Whitney Simmons use this in one of her recent videos, and it looked so gorgeous on her skin, and she is very dry skin as well, and she was just raving about it. So it really influenced me to pick it up, and I did. I got the shade Light 012, which should hopefully match me perfectly. It looks like it will. I literally bought it in store, so there's no reason why it shouldn't match me perfectly. I will say though, even though I'm in store, I really don't like swatching the products on my hand. For some reason, it just feels so gross. The products are always really grimy and just like putting them on my hand just feels so dirty, and especially like the foundations just looked destroyed, and I really didn't want to touch it. So I just looked at them really closely and tried to pick the one that I thought would match me most. So hoping for the best here. So I picked up a couple lip products. I got a new lip balm from Summer Fridays. I do like the Summer Fridays lip balm. I know I've mentioned before that like it wasn't my absolute favorite. I've since kind of changed my mind because I do actually like the way it feels quite a bit, but I really hated the packaging because the packaging was just such a mess, and they just recently fixed the packaging and changed it up. So I was really excited to see that, and they also just came out with a tinted version. I'm gonna be trying that out just to like moisturize my lips before we get started. Speaking of being influenced, I was also influenced by this product. Unfortunately, I didn't get the shade that I wanted because they didn't have it in store, but Alana Davison, she has been speaking so much about the Merit Shade Slick tinted lip oils in taupe, I think is the shade that she's obsessed with. They didn't have taupe there, but instead I decided to get another color just to try out the formula. So I got the shade Marrakesh, which looks like a very pretty kind of like rosy color. We'll see. And then the last makeup product that I purchased is another lip product. I know I kind of went a little bit lip product crazy, but I got this guy from Kaja. It really just caught my eye. I just thought it looked really pretty. This is the Vacay Shine Glowy Lip Balm Oil in the shade Beachy Nude. It's basically like a really bronzy, really shimmery lip oil. And Smells good. One last thing that I purchased is actually a skincare product. I figured I would just show you guys. This is the Dermalogica Precleanse. This is actually one of my favorite oil cleansers, but I haven't had it in my collection in a while and I kind of miss it. I recently got a facial and she used this on my skin and it just felt so good. So I figured I would pick it up again. So this is gonna be going home with me. So those are all the things that I purchased. And like I said, I do have a couple things from PR that I'm gonna incorporate into this video. I also have a couple new things from Rare Beauty. So excited to try this new mascara. I've been meaning to try it for a couple weeks now. I just haven't had the chance. I also have the new Rare Beauty brow powder duo here, a Milk Makeup Grip Eye Primer, and then last but not least, I have this little duo from Iconic London, and this is a little contour pot. So there is a cream and a powder contour in here, and we'll be contouring today with this. So that's it for my little haul. I'm gonna zoom you guys in and let's just get started. So I'm just gonna quickly start off by prepping my skin. I actually just washed my face because I came from Pilates and my face was a little bit sweaty. So I'm freshly washed, but I'm not moisturized, which is very important for me. So I'm gonna go in with this Summer Fridays Cloud Dew Oil-Free Gel Cream. I do really like this for before makeup because it's pretty lightweight. The foundation that we're gonna be using, so dewy and creamy and balmy. I don't really want my skin to be too slippery. So for the lips, let's put on the Summer Fridays lip balm. So like I said, they changed the packaging. This is so much better. It's like a normal squeezy tube packaging. The other packaging was just such a disaster. Tastes so good. I'm sorry, that noise was disgusting. So the tint is definitely very light. It kind of just gives a nice rosy hue to the lips. Also feels just like the normal lip balm, which is good. Yeah, I really like this color. Let's put on the foundation because I'm just excited. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know why. I just feel like it's going to be really, really intense. So we're going to take it slow because I have seen and heard that this is just very full coverage. So I'm going to just use this foundation brush. This is just a random one that I have from Chantecaille. And I'm going to just directly go into here, pick up a little bit of this. That shade match. Yes. I am very pleased with the way that this matches my face. It's pretty much a perfect match. Look at that. Ooh, okay, that went on the skin nicely. So far, so good. I'm not really like picking up a lot of the foundation. I'm really trying to go in slowly here. It's actually very easy to blend. I thought it would be very thick, but it doesn't seem to be super thick because when I see people apply this like on social media, they apply it. Like they're not shy about it at all. And I think, you know, for more of a realistic application, you really just don't need that much. And it seems to cover really well. Oh my God, that looks really beautiful. It really meshed so nicely with my skin. I really thought that this was gonna be super heavy. Like I could not imagine how this would look natural while being just so full coverage, but it does actually look really, really, really natural. Yay, I like that. Obviously with a foundation, with any base product, you kind of gotta let it simmer for the rest of the day to really know how it is. So I'm gonna give you guys an update at the end of the day and let you know how it's wearing. Let's try out the concealer. So like I said, this is the Rose Inc Concealer and I'm using the shade LX020. And this also looks like it's gonna be a good shade match for me. Maybe a little bit yellow. I did get the neutral shade, and for a neutral shade, that looks pretty yellow to me. Not super in love with that color, but should be okay once it's blended out. To blend it, I'm just gonna use this Sigma Dream Conceal brush and just pat it out. I actually don't know how I feel about that. The color is definitely not perfect. I do feel like when it's blended out though, it works a little bit better, but I do feel like underneath the eyes, it just looks really heavy. Okay, zoomed you guys in very close so you can get a better look of what the concealer is looking like. I just kind of feel like it's already settling quite a bit underneath my eyes, and I really didn't use that much product, so that shouldn't really happen. But it's not looking super great. It's not my favorite, but look at the foundation. The foundation is looking really pretty. Okay. Oh, I didn't even mention how the foundation feels on the face. It actually feels kind of like nothing. I also expected that it would feel pretty heavy and sticky, but it doesn't feel sticky or heavy. It doesn't even feel like I even need to set it down with powder. And so because of that, I'm not going to, because I feel like I don't want to mess with like the way that it's looking right now, and it's looking pretty good. And I kind of want to see how it's going to wear just kind of on its own without me setting it with powder. So I think I'm going to skip powder today, if that's okay with you guys. So instead I'm going to jump right into bronzer. Because I'm going to be using a cream contour, I'm going to use a cream bronzer. So I'm just going to use my Fenty cream. I'm just going to apply this kind of quickly since this isn't, you know, a star of the video today. I'm going to be using the shade Butter Biscuit, which is one of my favorites, and this ColourPop F29 brush. Start to bronze to add some shape back to my face. Okay, now I'm gonna go into this new contour product. So this has a powder and a cream. The powder is on top and the cream is on the bottom. Oh my God, the cream is on the bottom. I will say, kind of annoying to open. It's so small, this little package. And for some reason, my little fingers just can't really open this super easily, but let's go in first with this cream. I think I'm just going to use this brush over here. This is my Spectrum Occasion Hues 04. And just pick up some of this and put it on underneath that bronzer. This does seem to be a pretty sheer cream. It's not super pigmented at all. I do find a lot of the Iconic London products to be a little bit on the sheer side, which is nice if that's what you're into. I do personally like sheer products. I find it gives some nice control to the product, and it's good on like no makeup days too. I feel like that looks pretty nice. It's definitely blending nicely. Especially with the contour product, it is nice for it to be a little bit more on the natural side, because I feel like sometimes contour products can get a little bit out of hand. So it's nice when things just kind of blend super easily into the skin. That looks really pretty. That was like a really easy contour product. I don't think it's like my favorite thing I've ever tried, but I like that. What do you guys think? Have you tried this? If you have, let me know your thoughts. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop it there for the face because I don't wanna put the blush on yet, only because I don't know what I'm gonna be doing with the eyes, and these are two very different vibes. Let's start with the eyes. I am going to first use my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eye Primer. So this is supposed to be a primer, not just for your lids, but also for your concealer. I didn't want to use it as a primer for my concealer today because I didn't want it to affect the look or wear of the concealer. That's just never a good idea, especially when you're testing a new product. So we're just going to try it out on the lids today. But from what I can tell so far, it's just like a clear, very, very thin texture. Honestly, this feels very different than any other eye primer I've ever used. Normally, eye primers I feel are like a little bit creamier feeling. Even the ones that are clear. I almost wonder if this is gonna even do anything, but I guess we'll find out. Let's jump into the Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna start with this matte shade right over here on a fluffy brush. This is my Smith 237, and I'm just gonna start by applying this in the upper crease as my transition shade. Okay, so I'm just blending this in my upper crease. It's applying really nicely. Honestly, it's Pat McGrath. Their eyeshadows are gorgeous. They really are. They're super expensive, insanely expensive, but they do perform as you kind of would expect a really expensive eyeshadow palette to perform. I think it's really hard for me to say like if a really expensive eyeshadow palette is worth it, because I honestly don't feel that any super crazy expensive eyeshadow palette is worth it in that way. But I do think that if you're wondering if the eyeshadow is going to perform nicely, that's all I could really tell you, and you kind of have to decide for yourself if you feel that it's worth it for you. That being said, I'm just continuing to buff out this color, make it nice and smoky around the eye. I kind of want something super dramatic today. Okay, so now that that base is down, I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush. This is my Smith 235 in the same color, and because I'm using a smaller, denser brush, it's going to apply the color in a little bit of like a deeper way. And so this is gonna act as my first crease shade, and I'm gonna put it directly into the crease. And so it's gonna be a really nice gradient from the crease to the transition. Now I'm gonna go to a smaller brush. I think I'm gonna use this guy. This is the Smith 230, and I'm gonna go into the dark brown shade over here. So I'm putting this on the outer corner of the eye, and then I'm wiggling it up into the crease as well, just to start to add a little bit of depth. I definitely feel like the eyeshadow primer, by the way, is like grabbing onto the eyeshadow nicely. I almost feel like it's grabbing on a little bit too well. It's It's not really making it patchy, but I do think that maybe it would have been a good idea to put like a light layer of translucent powder on my lid before going in with the eyeshadow, just to kind of allow things to blend a little bit easier, since the primer is actually grabbing onto the eyeshadow pretty well. Okay, now it's time for the fun part. Let's put on the lid shade, and I can hear you yelling at me from here. The green shade will be used today. I feel like I just can't not put this on my eyes. Look how pretty it is. So with most of the Pat McGrath metallics, I always like to use my finger. Oh my god, look how gorgeous this is. Yes. Oh, this was a good choice. And I'm just gonna pat this on my lid. Oh my god, this is so pretty. I love it. I'm really happy I went with this color. It's such a fun shade. Oh my god, and look how intense that is. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's gorgeous, you guys. Okay, now that I'm excited about this, let's just swatch a couple other shades just so you guys can get an idea. This one looks really fun. It's kind of like a galaxy shade. It has like some purple, teal, blue shimmer, very pretty. Ooh, this color's stunning. This is like a really pretty brown to pink to champagne. They just glide on so easily. Like, that is full pigment, full intensity. I barely even like touched the eyeshadow, and that's what I love about the Pat McGrath shadows. Their mattes are really pretty, they work well, but I feel like the real value in the Pat McGrath eyeshadows comes from their metallics, because their metallics are always like this. They're just stunning. Let's go in with that fun galaxy color, this one over here, and let's put it on right like the outer corner where it meets the brown, just for funsies, and just see what happens. Put that like right here. Almost so it like transitions from the galaxy color to the lime green. Adds a little bit more depth. Ooh, that's nice. I think that was actually a really good call. You do want to be gentle when you are blending metallics because you don't want them to fall. Doesn't seem like anything is falling though underneath my eyes, so that's good. The upper part of the lid is definitely done. So now I'm going to work on the lower part. So I'm gonna go in with the first brown color that we used. On a small pencil brush, this is my ColourPop E27, and put that right on the lower lash line. So because there's a lot of darkness on the outer corner of the eye, I kind of want to connect a bit of that darkness on the lower part of my lash line. So I'm going to use a super small pencil brush. This is my ColourPop E28, and go into that dark brown color and kind of just push that right on that outer portion of my lower lash line, just to connect those two areas. Okay, small technical difficulty with my camera. It actually stopped recording, and I didn't realize when I was applying my mascara, but you guys didn't really miss much, so I'll just kind of recap what happened. Basically, I applied the Rare Beauty mascara, and I wasn't super impressed with it. So this is what it looks like on Future Jamie here. I just wanted to let you guys know that I accidentally wiped my foundation brush on my eyeshadow, so that's why I have this weird stripe on my right eye. I didn't realize until a little bit later, so just try to ignore that. I actually feel like it gave me a lot of volume. Like, my lashes look really, really nice and thick. I kind of just wish that it curled my lashes a little bit more and also added some length to them as well. But I do recognize that not every mascara is gonna hit all the boxes, so I do like it, but I'm not 100% over the moon. So let's finish off the eyes completely and do the brows. We're gonna be using the Rare Beauty powder duo. So when I use powders on my brows, I like to use a gel first, just so the powders actually have something to stick to. So I'm gonna go in with my Kosas Clear Brow Gel, and I'm just gonna run this through my brows first. And I like to do this honestly whether or not I use powders. I just find that putting brow gel through the brows first is always a good move, because it just allows me to kind of see exactly where I want to put that brow product, because it just sets all my brow hairs exactly where I'm gonna want them. Both of the powders are very similar to one another, just one is a little bit darker than the other, and I'm gonna be using the shade, not this one, I'm gonna be using the shade Taupe, which is this shade over here. It's a little bit more cool toned, which I do prefer for my brow colors, and I'm gonna use a angled brush to apply this. I haven't used a brow powder in a really, really long time. I do like brow powders, especially for when I want a softer look. If you are somebody who likes a lot of definition to your brows, I wouldn't say a brow powder is really the way to go, because it won't really give you like hair-like strokes. It's really just going to softly fill in your brow. This is a really good example of that, because it's definitely a very sheer powder. It doesn't look like It's very pigmented. It's kind of funny because with this guy, as I'm applying this, it really doesn't even feel like I'm doing anything because there's not a lot of pigment in this powder. But then when I look at my big mirror in front of me, I'm like, oh, my brows look really nicely filled in. So it definitely does do the trick. It's just really, really, really soft. It's not really doing anything crazy special for me. I'm not over the moon, kind of like the mascara. I feel like it's doing the trick, but it's not anything that I'm crazy about. That's my first impression on that brow product, but I think my brows look nice, so there's something to be said about that. So now that my entire eye area is done, let's move on to the blush finally. These are two of the shades next to my eyes, and I feel like both shades actually look quite nice with this eye look. So let's use both, why not? So I'm gonna go in first with the coral shade called Anemone or Anemone. I'm gonna just pick it up with my finger. Definitely is quite pigmented. I'm just gonna tap it on my cheek and try and blend it out with my finger first. Okay, that's actually translating to be so much brighter than I expected. It almost looks like a neon coral actually blended out on the cheeks. It's so interesting because in the pen, it looks like such a gorgeous, like soft, rusty shade, but on my cheek, on my skin tone, it literally looks like a neon coral. It really does mesh and blend really, really nicely into the skin. I find that it's blending just super, super easily. Sometimes creams, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, can be a little bit finicky and can be sometimes a little bit difficult to blend and melt into the skin. But this seems like it's really just blending so easily with just one finger, which I love. And it kind of has a little bit of a powdery finish too, so it's not super dewy or super glowy, which I also do like. Now I'm gonna go in with the berry shade, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this right on the apple of my cheek just to add a little bit of dimension to the blush look. I love doing a two-tone blush look. It always just adds something a little special to the cheeks. I almost feel like this would be a great blush formula for somebody who isn't super comfortable with creams yet or who hasn't tried creams yet, because this blended so easily with just my finger. I didn't even need to use a brush to like melt into the skin, and it did it all on its own, and I love that. And I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I love the fact that it's not super dewy. It's also not like super drying. It kind of lands right in the middle. Also, I would just like to say the packaging is gorgeous. It's very chic. Okay, time to move on now to the lips. We have two lip colors that we're gonna try, and I am going to try them both on for you guys. So I'm first gonna line my lips with a lip liner. I'm gonna use my Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0. So I'm gonna try out the casual one first. This is the Vacay Shine in Beachy Nude. Not to be dramatic, but this is probably one of the prettiest lip glosses or lip oils or whatever you want to call this that I think I've ever put on my mouth. Holy shit. Did you guys know about this, and why didn't you tell me about it? I like everything about this. The finish is gorgeous. It's so glossy. Look at that. Look at that reflection. Yes, yes. Because it's also a lip oil, it feels super comfy and it doesn't feel sticky at all. Oh my God, and the color is perfect. Sorry, I'm looking so close at my lips in the mirror right now, but this is like the most perfect neutral nude, and it has such a nice little gold shimmer to it too. This is really like my perfect neutral nude lip. Oh my God. I could not be happier that I randomly picked this up, because this is probably going to become one of my all-time favorite lip products. That is so dramatic to say. I've had this on my mouth for 2.5 minutes, but when I know, I don't really see how the Merit lip oil is going to be able to top this, because this is just everything I've ever wanted and more. But alas, I will still put it on for you guys so we can see what it looks like. Like I said, this is the Merit tinted lip oil in the shade Marrakesh. I really, really wish that I had the taupe shade, but this color does look really, really pretty. Ooh, oh, I love this color. This is also really nice, guys. It's actually kind of similar to the casual one, but it feels even more lightweight, but it also doesn't have as much glossy glow as the casual one. And this color is so pretty. I don't totally love it with my eyes, so just pretend like my eyeshadow isn't there. But this is such a good everyday shade, especially for the fall time, because it has those nice kind of like bricky, rosy undertones that are very fall appropriate. That was definitely a win. Okay, I'm gonna take this off and put back on the Kaja, because how could I not? All right, that's it. This is the full face of makeup. Let's kind of run through everything and just give you guys my final thoughts on the products that I put on my face today. So starting off first, let's talk about the concealer and the foundation. I do feel like the concealer actually settled on my skin nicely throughout the rest of my makeup application. Like when I first applied it, it did kind of look a little bit heavy, but as it's warmed up on my skin, I do feel like it does look a little bit better. But as far as the formula goes, it seems to be nice, but I'll definitely have to try it out a little bit more before I give you guys my final thoughts on this. It's kind of inconclusive for me at the moment. As far as the foundation goes, this was probably the most unexpected love from this video. Like I really did not think that I would like this at all. My skin looks really, really glowy and dewy and just healthy, but still totally covered. Like this is full coverage, but it still looks natural in a very weird way. I don't know how it did it, but it did. So this was just really unexpected, and I'm excited that I found a new full coverage foundation that I'm very into. I will give you guys an update though on this foundation at the end of the day, because obviously things can change. The blushes are probably one of my favorites from today's application. It's hard for me to be impressed by cream blushes nowadays because I find that a lot of the formulas are kind of the same but different, but I do feel that I haven't really tried a formula quite like this yet. So I'm definitely gonna be putting these in my everyday makeup bag because I'm excited to continue to use them. But let's not pretend like the true stars from this video are not the lip products. I just know that these two are going to be two of my new go-tos in my everyday makeup bag as well. But overall, I really feel like this was a pretty successful first impressions. It's always a win when I don't have a huge makeup fail when I'm trying new makeup, so yay. Okay guys, I am home now and I've had the makeup on my face for a total of about 8 hours now, so it's a pretty good tell to see how everything is wearing. And I definitely have some more thoughts. So let's chat about the foundation. Now, on the majority of my face, basically everywhere aside from this part of my face or right over here like my nose, and then all around here where I do have a lot of texture, it looks very kind of like heavy and obvious right in this area over here. I don't know if the camera's gonna be able to pick it up, but it's something that I'm looking at, and it definitely looks not so good right over here on that texture. But on everywhere else in my face, the foundation has pretty much stayed the exact same. Like everything is looking pretty much just as it was when I first applied it, which I love. And I'm excited to try this out on a different day, maybe with a bit of a different application method. I'm interested to see what it would be like with a sponge. The concealer, on the other hand, is really not looking so good. It faded quite a bit, especially in this area over here, and it just looks like really bad. Like I feel like it kind of just accentuated all the texture that I have here, and when I touch it, it basically just completely rubs off. I did not set it with powder. Maybe that was my mistake, but like I had said to you guys, I really wanted to see how it would wear on its own without the use of powder, and it looks like, you know, a powder would have been a good idea. The eyeshadow looks so vibrant and amazing still. I kept catching glances of my eyeshadow throughout the day and I wasn't able to stop staring at it. Like, it's just so eye-catching and gorgeous. The shimmer is insane. The dimension is insane. And I just don't feel like it even picks up as beautiful as it looks in person. But overall, things wore well besides the bit of cakiness over here and on my under eyes. Everything looks great. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing all of my first impressions and all the new products that I picked up today. Don't forget to let me know in the comments your thoughts on any of the products that I use. If you've tried them yourselves, I want to hear your reviews. And of course, hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy today's video, and subscribe and ring the bell if you want to join the fam. And I will see you guys in the next one.